My undergraduate degree, I did psychology and criminology. At the time I had these dreams of being one of those TV criminal psychologists. But I mean, that wasn't really a realistic idea. But that was where I kind of developed my real interest in psychology, and more specifically in looking at the relationships between people and groups, and how group dynamics kind of evolve over certain situations. When I was an undergraduate, I had this kind of perception of academia as being very, very kind of heavy on teaching and marking, and very, very heavy on sort of dusty old dry textbooks and things like that. Since becoming an academic, since becoming a researcher, I've seen that it's a lot more dynamic than that. Your teaching is influenced by the research that you do. You can do a study one week and then the next week go into a class and teach them what you found, or you can even have the students take part in a study with you, and then the next week or 2 weeks later feed back to them the findings of the study that they've just taken part in. So it's far more dynamic. The most rewarding aspect to me of a career in psychology is the idea that you get to know more about the world. This kind of thirst for knowledge, this kind of search for answers is kind of the most important thing to me. To know that whatever work you do, whether it's significant or non-significant, you're adding to the pool of knowledge. During my PhD, an awful lot of my early studies found very few effects, and that was quite stressful at the time. And really, getting past that was all about kind of overcoming this kind of idea that, oh no, the study hasn't worked, so I've failed, and kind of thinking instead along the lines of the study hasn't worked, but you know, why? What aspects of the study can we change to make it work in future? How can we refine this? How can we write about this? And so, you know, over time, gradually carved a path through. To establish a good work-life balance in academia is sometimes quite difficult, because you have a lot of flexibility over when you start and finish your days in academia. So it's quite important to try and stay fairly rigid with your work days. That way you can kind of feel like you've gotten something done. You get in at X, you leave at Y, and it kind of increases the need to finish your work in between those hours. If you approach it in a more sort of fluid way, you'll keep thinking, oh, I haven't done it now, but it's okay, I can do it this evening. Oh, but it's okay, I can do it tonight. And you keep pushing work back and back and back, and you start to feel more and more stressed. And it's very easy to get into a destructive cycle that way. My advice to people looking for a career in academia, or in psychology more specifically, is to get as much experience as you can. If there are internships, take them. If there's extra work that you can do, take it. I worked on several research projects, inputting data, analysing the data, collecting data. It's the less glamorous aspect of psychology, certainly, but it gives you a very good grounding in the key research methods, in the key kind of building blocks of what it is that we do. And it also helps you to develop a good working relationship with the members of staff. And ultimately it's their advice and their assistance that's going to help you get onto those courses that you want to get onto and help you get on in your career.